Good afternoon. Thanks for your company. Well, it was a positive close for the Australian share market today. We ended 0.3% high, but we did hit our intraday high just in the first half hour of trade. But quickly, investors absorbed weaker than expected results from one of the big four banks, and that was Westpac. We'll get to that in just a sec. Plus, later at 11:30, we learnt that retail trade was not as strong as expected. We'll touch on that in just a sec. The materials sector up the most today, shooting the lights out on the back of local lithium miners continuing to strengthen as Chile riots continue in Santiago, while financials really put a lid on gains today as investors await NAB's financial results, which are due later in the week. We saw Galaxy and Pilbara Minerals shoot the lights out today as protests are still continuing in Chile near SQM's operations at the Atacama Salt Flat, which is one of the world's richest reserves in the ultralight battery metal sector. We saw Perth-based mining and construction contracting company NRW also shoot the lights out, rising 13% after they confirmed to the market that they plan to buy a contracting company called BGC, and BGC makes close to $1 billion in revenue. Going to Westpac, their net profit fell 16% to $6.7 billion, and we know that the market was looking for a profit of $6.897 billion. So a pretty big difference there, which is why Westpac shares ended flat. They also announced that their final dividend was going to be cut, or was cut, from 94 to 80 cents. Plus, they announced a surprise capital raise, quite a big capital raise, $2.5 billion, and that includes a retail share purchase plan at a price of $25.32. Citi says it's still a sell for them with a price target of $24.50, really on the back of lower interest income, plus expenses will be higher next financial year by about 1% compared to the results they just handed down. They said expenses will be higher on the back of further remediation provisions plus litigation costs as well, and this is of course some of the reason why Westpac shares closed flat at $27.88. Credit Corp, another story today. Their shares rallied, rising 3%. They held their AGM today. No news was brought to light, but buyers took today as a buying opportunity. Their shares jumped to $32.32. Morningstar does, however, say the stock is fair valued at about $26.50. On the economic news front, of course, we announced that retail sales surprisingly rose just 0.2%. The market was looking for a rise of 0.5%. This is, of course, proof in the pudding that ScoMo's tax cuts are not boosting spending as planned. What to watch tonight? Well, the US futures are suggesting a rise when Wall Street kicks off trading for their Monday session. The Nasdaq is eyeing a lift of about 0.3% to extend on Friday's record high that finished at with the Nasdaq closing at 8,386 points. We also saw the S&P 500 hit another all-time high, and we're expecting, the futures are suggesting that the market, or the S&P 500, the largest 500 stocks on Wall Street, will extend on those gains, really as sentiment is buoyed as the US appears to be averting a recession, of course, on the back of the stronger than expected jobs data that came out on Friday.